Love. An intense feeling of wait, no, that's wrong video. There we go. Romance. Romance has always had a special place in my heart as an anime fan. Whether it's a couple's first meeting, the slow burn development of their relationship, or their climactic confessions, the genre thrives on the dynamics between two characters who are, for all purposes, simply learning to navigate through a sea of raw emotions. But in recent years, I couldn't help but notice that a particular, what I would like to call, subgenre in the rom-com scene has emerged. One that's built entirely around words that are left unspoken, where intentions are wrongly interpreted, and yet, somehow, love still blossoms.
A tangled mess of knots, I confess, but the intent was there. I swear he set our sights on something that we thought was true.
Miscommunication is not exactly a new concept in romance or romantic comedies. However, for some of them, it's not just a plot device, but the entire foundation upon which relationships are built on, revolving around characters whose relationships are defined by how they misinterpret each other's words, actions, and even silences. In Kaguya-sama Love is War, the titular character Shinomiya Kaguya, along with her love interest Shirogane Miyuki, are locked in a battle of wits, each trying to make the other confess their feelings for the other first. Their always logical elite student big brains warp the concept of love into something similar to a battlefield, where confessing is the equivalent of losing to their opponent.
It's not like love is war and whoever gives their heart first is somehow conquered.
Hey, you get it? This is the title and the point of the whole story!
Their interactions are filled with double meanings and shrewd manipulation. This transforms every conversation into a mind game. Here, the concept of miscommunication is not necessarily an obstacle to overcome in their relationship, but the very essence of it. The series doesn't rely on misunderstandings as a regular trope. Instead, it delves deep into the psychological aspect of trying to understand just what the hell goes on in another person's head. Kaguya and Miyuki both correctly assume the other's actions are calculated, leading to a constant overthinking of the simplest of gestures, which gives birth to some incredibly hilarious scenes. A text message isn't just a text message. Is there a hidden meaning behind the words? The time they take to answer? How the hell does the letter K have so many damn meanings, Rebecca? I just asked you McDonald's or Burger King! This overanalysis leads to far more confusion than the situation actually calls for. But at the same time, it also leads to deeper feelings. In today's digital age, this is something many can probably relate to. I think we've all stared at the message dumbfounded, trying to decipher its tone or reading in between the lines, where there might be nothing at all. What the hell does that mean, Rebecca? This constant state of strategic miscommunication, at first glance, might seem like a recipe for disaster. But for Kaguya and Miyuki, it's practically the fuel that drives their relationship forward. Kaguya is the sheltered daughter of a rich family, and Miyuki is the epitome of a hard worker who climbed from the bottom. So they both have this unrivaled personal pride. They relate to each other in that fact. It's what makes their connection so compelling. And even if that means they spend most of their time misunderstanding each other, the one thing they do understand, even with their warped mindset, are the feelings they have for each other. Side note, all openings of this show are great, but the second one will be your favorite. It's not up for debate. Misunderstanding someone and their intentions already presents you with a pretty difficult scenario. But if that someone is Komi, the level of difficulty goes from hard to Yeah, that's the one. That's right, on another point of the spectrum we have Komi-san can't communicate. And unlike Kaguya-sama, here miscommunication isn't a game. It's a genuine struggle that the anime man could never understand. Komi-san suffers from extreme social anxiety, to a level that's sadly comical. Dude, she's just like me for real. Sad anxiety makes it nearly impossible for her to communicate verbally with others. Hence the title. Jokes aside, Komi-san's condition is something that many of us can empathize with. Feeling trapped by the inability to express oneself is hard. And that's why some of us are weirdos making videos on the internet. The beauty of this series lies in how it portrays the various ways people try to communicate beyond words. Her classmate Tadano being adept at reading her subtle cues after noticing her condition, understanding her without the need for spoken language. In their first real interaction, in one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever had the pleasure of watching, he finds out so much more about her as to who she is behind the silent beauty she's perceived as by others around her, and consequently, becomes her very first friend. Throughout the series, you hardly hear Komi-san speak. She communicates mainly through writing, trembles, and cute anime noises. This must have been Aoi Koga's easiest role, who, by the way, also voiced Kaguya. I mean, what are the odds of that? But due to that constant silence, anytime you do hear her speak, trying her best to communicate, correcting misunderstandings that she herself creates, it feels like such a victory. This is my genuine reaction to her saying she wants to be friends with Tadano for the first time.
やっぱり私はただのくんの友達でいたいです。
Fuck yes! This is like sports to me! Or in this cliche of a Valentine's episode where Komi-san's been so shy about giving Tadano chocolate all day, only to later meet him with the excuse of giving him a school document, giving him an existential crisis in the process, the poor guy, and still unable to give them to him, initially running away, but then and only then, finally get the courage to run back to him and... She said his name! I especially love this hesitation shot, where instead of writing what she wants to say, she just gives the chocolates and tries her damn hardest to convey her words. I feel like a proud dad, damn it. Komi-san Can Communicate captures the essence of connection through alternative means, but above all, it demonstrates the simple desire of being able to connect at all, resonating deeply to whoever felt their chest tighten when trying to communicate. That's the final message at the end of season 1. I thought it was really sweet. He makes the point perfectly. Josh! Komi-san and Tadano's relationship grows because of the effort they both put into understanding each other. It's a reminder that sometimes the most meaningful connections don't need a lot of words. They just need a bit of time and a lot of patience. Russia. Yeah, I couldn't really think of a good segue to the last anime. I might be the only person in existence who had never heard of Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, but I'm pleasantly surprised at the popularity around it. This show centers around the relationship between Alya, a half-Russian, half-Japanese girl, and her classmate Masachika. From the very first episode, we see Alya frequently slipping into Russian whenever she feels shy, flustered, or wants to express something she's not quite ready to say. For Alya, Russian becomes a convenient shield, allowing her to conceal her true emotions while still communicating with Masachika. Except she doesn't know that this motherfucker's fluent in Soviet Union. Yep, that's right. This linguistic quirk is what creates the ongoing layer upon layer of miscommunication in this show. Because although he fully understands her words, this forces Masachika to double take every single thing Alya says in Russian. One of the early examples of this occurs when Alya teasingly calls Masachika,
Milashka.
and yet when he asks what she said,
バカって言ったのよ。
while the words may seem harsh, Alya's tone and smug smile suggests affection rather than insult. I mean, look at this shit-eating grin. This dynamic is a playful exploration of how language can both connect and divide, particularly in relationships where cultural and linguistic differences come into play. In episode 4, after Masachika admires Alya's resolve to become the next student council president, because this is a high school anime, so mark that on your bingo card, he offers to become her VP and do everything in his power to help her in that goal. To which she replies with,
ありがとう。やちびょりぶりゅう。
It's clear as day it's a love confession, even strengthened by Masachika's flashback of his childhood crush and the reason he learned Russian to begin with. And yet, the episode ends with a jealous slap on the man's face for daring to think of another woman, this son of a bitch, how dare he! Some friendly bickering, a confusing kiss on the cheek which leaves Masachika's mind broken. For Masachika, navigating this dual language interaction without letting her know that he understands what she's saying becomes a way to get to know Alya more deeply, as he learns to read between the lines. Because even with his fluency in Russian, he's the main character of a rom-com. Therefore, he suffers from dances all fuck MC syndrome. She clearly has feelings for you, dumbass! This plot creates a unique dynamic where Masachika is left to piece together Alya's true intentions. This exploration of language and emotion highlights the complexities of cross-cultural relationships, where understanding often goes beyond simple words. Also, nothing to do with the theme of this video, but I mostly watched this show for this character and this character alone. I won't tell you any plot details, just trust me when I say she's unhinged as all hell, and Maruoka Wakana clearly had a lot of fun voicing her. Miscommunication as a subgenre reflects the complexities of modern relationships. And I think that's why it's become more of a focus rather than a trope. We often misinterpret each other's words and actions. We second guess, we overthink, and sometimes our own insecurities get in the way of a simple, honest interaction. This anime series tap into that universal experience. Relationships require patience, empathy, and the willingness to see beyond the surface. It's about understanding that sometimes what's left unsaid is just as important as what's spoken. And in that space between words lies the truest feeling a person can hold. Love is rarely straightforward, but maybe that's what makes it so compelling. So, the next time you find yourself overthinking a message, struggling to express your feelings, or misinterpreting someone's words, just remember it's not the end of the world, and that maybe there's something quite sweet under those words. So, even if you don't understand them at first, you should cherish them nonetheless. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe. Answering your comments is always my favorite part of this YouTube venture of mine. And as always, I truly hope you're taking care of yourselves. You'll always be welcomed here. I love you. No, not like that. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye!